What's up, everybody? It is June 13th, 2023. I am Russell Wayne. This is the phone sessions. It's the off season. Everybody's Super Bowl bound, right? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen out there? My name is Russell Wayne. This is the main event. This is the NFC North phone sessions. It's June 13th, 2023, and I'm here to talk some football right here. It is the off season, so I do understand. I appreciate each and every one of you. We are broadcasting live into Bill the Packer fans page, the Detroit Lions news, Mike the Bear fan, the Detroit Lions villain squad, NFC North Open Mic, and some very nice Facebook pages. What's up, Williams? Got to change that Vikes intro. Mr. Cook has left the, yeah. You know what? I made that video about 3 weeks ago, and yeah, that I'll have to change that one out here over the next little bit. But you guys are just gonna have to deal with that, honestly. I mean, it is the off season. I might change it. I might not. I mean, your bodies are hitting the floor so fast that I mean, I don't even know who to put in your intro. I mean, who's even going to be on your team when it comes to that? I wasn't even going to talk about the Vikings this morning, but there we go. Chad Burton says, let's go. Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening in. And I wanted to talk about Chase Young. I wanted to know if anybody out there thinks that Chase Young could be this guy, right? I mean, do you want Chase Young on your team? Do you want your team? You know, we are NFC North, so this is a question for Viking fans. This is a question for Lion fan. This is a question for Packer fan, and this is a question for Bear fan. Do you want to make a move to bring in Chase Young? I mean, what has he done? What are your thoughts of Chase Young? Throw that into the comments. If you would like to have some Chase Young action, you want to trade for Chase Young? You want to bring him to your team? Tons of potential there. He won Rookie of the Years, drafted in 2020 by the Washington Commanders. You think he's lazy? John says that he is lazy and plays when he wants to. I mean, I don't know about lazy. At 7.5 sacks his rookie year and one Rookie of the Year, and then he's been unavailable. I mean, he's been injured. I don't know if it's been a lazy thing, but I know that he's been injured. But you know what? I'm in that camp right there, John. As a Detroit Lion fan, I don't want to bring him here. And I'm even a Buckeye fan. I'm a Buckeye fan, and I do not want Chase Young anywhere near the Lions franchise. You can stay as far away as you can possibly go right now, because what do you want here? What is Brad Holmes building here in Detroit? He's got these guys coming in on like 1-year deals that are playing. They're playing to get a bigger contract, right? So you're coming here, you're taking less money to come here because Brad Holmes ain't overpaying for anybody. I mean, why would you want to bring a pass rusher here? And I heard that you wanted to trade like Julian Okwara in there, or Charles Harris, or Romeo Okwara. Why would you want to trade better players and draft picks to bring in a guy like Chase Young? I mean, the potential, I mean, he's a borderline bust, I think. You got a 7.5 sacks was his best year. He's had 9 sacks in his entire career. You've been in the league 3 years and you have 9 sacks in your entire career, and you're supposed to rush the passer. You're supposed to have those stats, Chase Young. I don't know. I don't want Chase Young on the Detroit Lions, but what about you, Chicago Bears? I mean, you guys are building franchise. You guys could take a flyer on somebody like Chase Young, bring him in, see how he does, maybe even extend that contract if he starts playing well for you. I think it's a good move for Chicago. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Would you take Chase Young? You think John thinks that he's lazy. I'm fine. I'm just glad that my Packers don't have to play him anymore. Yeah, okay. That's fine. Would be interesting move for the Bears or the Lions. Doesn't make sense for the Packers or the Vikings, though. It would absolutely make sense for the Vikings. The Vikings don't have any pass rushers. They're trying to trade Hunter right now because he ain't even showing up for the camps. Maybe they could work it out. Hunter for Chase Young. No, they got Davenport. That half a sack Davenport. You don't think that they need Chase Young? I don't know. I can see what you mean about the Packers. I don't think the Packers would need Chase Young. I mean, they've invested like 8 first-round draft picks into the defense over the last few years with Gutekunst. If I was a Packer fan, I'd be more worried about Joe Barry. Is he the guy to get the job done? I mean, I'll change the subject on that. Let's go to you, Packers. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I mean, you had the 21st ranked defense by PFF, and really it doesn't. There's really not good metrics in there that you can look at it. So Joe Barry has 8 first-round draft picks on that Packers team, and you ain't even cracking the top 15. Come on, man. It's either Joe Barry or Gutekunst can't draft talent. We're going to find out what that is this year. The Vikings are tearing down this year. That's William says. Tearing down the team. They're not in a place to make any moves like that. Well, why wouldn't they? It's a corner piece. You could bring him in. I mean, he's still on his rookie deal for the last year. And you see what you got. You could extend and have a young pass rusher. What if he comes in and balls out? I mean, I understand you got to pay him right away, but Chase Young, when he was touted to come out, one of the best prospects in a long time, but works out. I mean, you build your franchise around a guy like that. Can't speak to the possible character concerns, but the guy is a beast. Can't fault him for a torn ACL. I agree with that. I mean, the talent's there. I don't like it for the Lions because the Lions have a very deep pass rushing room. They go deep. You got Hutchinson, you got Pascal, you got Romeo, you got Charles Harris, you got James Houston, John Kaminsky. I mean, I like those guys. All of those guys are good in a rotation. I expect them to wreck shop again like they did last year. The Lions had the #1 rookie pass rushing class of all time. And that ain't even fluff. It's real. 20.5 sacks. There's no draft class that's ever had more than 20.5 sacks, and the Lions did that last year. Good job, Brad Holmes. Good job, Brad Holmes. I like that. I like that, having a competent GM. But I also know what an incompetent GM looks like, but I had to live through the Patricia era. I had to live through that. I know what it looks like, and it looks like Quezzy. It looks like Quezzy. That's what Bob Quinn looks like. A bunch of dumbass moves, and then a bunch of fan base sitting around trying to justify all of it. You gave away draft picks for a tight end that you're going to have to make the highest paid tight end in the league if you want to keep him. and you pay draft capital. So you're giving the future away to bring in a guy that you're going to have to pay. So there's the first mistake for that. And then letting us come up to get Jameson Williams, regardless of how Jameson Williams turned out, right? You traded up 20 spots. Now you look at what the Chicago Bears got to trade up future assets. You let us trade up 20 spots into the first round for a third-round draft pick. Quezzy's not good. He's a horrible GM. If you're a Viking fan, I actually feel bad for you because I've lived it. We lived through 0-16. We know what shitty GMs look like, and that's what Quezzy is. I mean, yeah, there's the Vegas chance that Quezzy's just way on a higher level, and he's just doing stuff and making stuff happen, and all of a sudden he's going to look like the smartest guy in the room. I doubt it. I don't buy it for a minute. Lions still looking to add wide receiver. Jameson Williams being out for the first 6 games. Hear rumors, but see what my thoughts are. I like our wide receiver room. I think our wide receiver room can make it through the 6 games with the additions of I know that they're rookies, but you drafted Gibbs. You drafted him 12th overall not to be a running back. They say in training camp they've been lining him up all over the field, the X, the Y, the Z, lining him up as a tight end, lining him up as a fullback in the backfield with Montgomery. This guy was never supposed to be a bell cow back. So I think that Jahmyr Gibbs will cover up a lot of the production that Jameson Williams had out of the pass game. And also Sam Laporta is the same way. Sam Laporta is a guy that you can get the ball right on the line of scrimmage. They're going to try to get the ball out of Goff's hands quick. So if they add a wide receiver, I'm not going to kill him for it or anything like that. I mean, if you want to go out and get a guy, you got $24 million in cap. But I think they'll sit on it. I think they'll sit on it and roll it over because they got their team. I believe they have their team. If they make a move and bring a guy like Chase Young in, I'm not going to mind that either. You can never have enough pass rushers. And, I mean, he is better than the bottom guys on that roster. It'd be kind of weird having a Michigan guy coming off of one end and then having a Ohio State guy come off the other end and an Iowa linebacker in the middle. What? Man, we bringing in the Big Ten defense, right? But that's cool. And then SEC and an SEC secondary. How's my morning going? That's what Evan says. What's up, Evan? Let me get that up in there. My morning is going good. I am blessed to be able to get up in the morning and come on here and talk about football with y'all. That's good. That's good. And I know that everybody that's listening right now, you have to be a hardcore fan. I am 100% convinced that all of the casual fans checked out. I mean, maybe even the good fans, they tune back in for the draft and they want to know who their guys are, but then they tune back out. We're on here June 13th. And the 25 people that are watching right now, you guys are avid football fans. You have to be. There's no way you're listening to a podcast in June about football. Everybody else is like, okay, I can watch the NBA finals. No, I want to know about a backup punter. Yeah. But the cool thing is like when we get into the regular season, here we are on Tuesday. This is going to be the designated Viking day for us when we get into the season. But we're in the off season, so we just kind of make it a free for all every morning. So whatever you guys want to talk about, love the Big Ten connection. Why not? The Big Ten's always notoriously brings out the front 7. You go Big Ten all day. All day. You get linebackers and pass rushers all day from Michigan, Ohio State, Iowa, Penn State. Line them up. Then get your secondary from the SEC. I like it. I like it. I agree. Nothing like the starting your morning talking football. Hey, you know what? I'm going to pop. Got the link. I'm throwing the link in there. Throw it out there to you guys. You guys want to talk for the last half hour? You guys can pop in. We can have a conversation. It's good. It's good. I'm obviously a football sicko. Yes, William, you are a football sicko. John says, how many wins do you think the Lions will get this year? I mean, I think the ceiling is 13. I don't think that they're going to win more than 13 games, but I think they are going to improve, man. I mean, you have to say 10. You have to say 10 to even get the improvement. So, but I think at the end it'll squeeze out. They'll get 11, 12 wins when it comes down to it. Their team is that good. I mean, everybody else that wants to talk all the smack, that's fine. The Lions usually aren't the team that, you know, has the team and you know, and the coaching staff to back it up. But it looks like we're going to go into a nice, shiny time for the Detroit Lions over the next at least 5-6 years when it comes down to that. Says, let's see. Delina says, I can't wait to see what he got beat number 10. It's time for something new. I love it. Maybe I can't read very well. Oh, there we go. Evan came in. I got a good Packer fan always come on here every day talking some good football.
Gotta represent.
Yeah, and I think that we can represent. Even though I'm a Lions fan, I like to bring in the other fan bases. I think this has been an awesome test throughout this whole season of last year and talking with other fans, because it really helps to broaden your horizons to understand, because we got to play each other twice. So I really, you know, as a good football fan, I want to know your team too, and you would want to know my team. Mm-hmm. But shoot, what were we even talking about right there? We were talking about the Lions getting 11 wins. Is that stupid? Or what do you think about the Lions getting 11 wins?
See, the Packer part of me wants to say that you're crazy, but in reality, I think if you guys continue the uptrend that you had last season, going from a very rough start of the season to shooting up to almost the playoffs, if it wasn't for the dumb tiebreaker, which you guys deserve to be in the playoffs.
Well, really, I don't agree with that. If we deserved to be in the playoffs, we would have been in the playoffs. We would have beaten Seattle. I mean, when we lost to Seattle, we did not make them punt one time in the entire game. And I think it was some kind of NFL record, some historically bad shit that happened during that game to where we did force one turnover, but that was the only stop in the entire game. Geno Smith looked like Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady had a baby. Like, he was just like running through. And that is compliments of Main Event Mike. I don't want to take credit for that. He said that last year, and I lost it. I'm just like, come on, man. The worst secondary historically ever. 30-second right. We can't cover a pass. But
and I think that just comes down to all your rookies. Like, you had a lot of rookies. Of course, you're going to get mistakes where games don't go where they should have gone. But then other games, those rookies will shine out. Same thing happened with the Packers last year, where we would go off and lose to the Buccaneers and the Titans, but then we'd win against the Cowboys and the Vikings.
So last week, I was talking with Smoking Jeremy B from Biting Kneecaps, and he was bringing up, and I had to look it up because sometimes I don't know about all the stats that Jeremy brings to the table, but he was correct in the stats about the Green Bay defense being ranked 21st in the league with 8 first-round draft picks on that defense. Joe Barry. I keep on beating this drum right here, but if I'm a Packer fan, I have him in serious question at this point. Why he can't produce a top 10
I definitely have him in question. It was his first year, but it still shouldn't have happened. If it was bad, like 10 to 15 if he needed growing room, but 20 is where I call it into question. But I have hope, because when we played the Rams, Bears, then we played the Dolphins, The Dolphins, our defense really shined picking off Tua. And the Dolphins beat the Bills earlier that season. And the Dolphins ended up going to the playoffs and losing to the Bills. But still, they were a loaded roster with elite weapons on offense, and our defense managed to hold strong.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I like that. That's a very good young Miami Dolphins team.
Yep.
And you're talking about a team that's got Jalen Ramsey and Howard. And yeah, that is an ascending defense. And under that, they would have to be one of the odds-on favorite to win that division. But
yeah, they're definitely, because they're doing stuff. They have great coaches. I think Frank Wright is one of their coaches.
Yeah, that's a team to beat right there. But that is a ruthless division with Buffalo and New England and now the Jets with Aaron Rodgers. It's like, I mean, lots of questions will be answered because there's a lot of Packer fans that say that Rodgers was on the decline and all that stuff like that. But I think that the defense let you guys down a lot at the beginning of the year where the offense, I mean,
I'd like to get that more correct in the way you stated that. Joe Barry let us down. Our defense really shined in our side, like Jair playing the best football he's ever played, going crazy.
Might be the best. Might be the best defensive back, arguably the best defensive back in the league. You could probably make the case that he's definitely the best defensive back in the NFC North. And, in the North, and I'm not too ashamed to admit that. I do like Cam Sutton, but he's just more of a great, really complimentary piece. I've never thought of him as like a shutdown or anything. So yeah, Jair, baby, that is one ruthless dude. And when you get Stokes, when does Stokes come back?
There's never a definite date. That's the thing, is I've heard different dates. I heard he was going to come back at the very end of the practices, like right before the regular season. I've heard he's out. And I think it was Samori Toure that at the very start of the year, he's a wide receiver that we had. It got a Achilles. I think he hurt his Achilles and is out for the season again.
Oh, no.
Which sucks.
Oh, no. Well, it just means that you better speed up the rookie Reed and make sure that he gets up to speed quick. And then you got a really young wide receiver core, so who knows what that's going to be. But last year, Aaron Rodgers dealt with 42 drops last year. So, I mean, your wide receivers have to be a lot better for Jordan Love, because I'm not one of those people that thinks that Jordan Love is better than Aaron Rodgers or is even close. So I think you're going to have to make it up somewhere else. Maybe he will have better chemistry with the younger receivers, because he actually went through training camp with them last year while Rodgers was being a diva. So
going off to Peru, just tripping balls in Peru, just having the time of his life when everybody else was in training camp practicing.
Now, William, I don't allow people to put false information on my show. The Packers did not have a top 10 pass defense. Their defense was ranked 14th in the league. So, I mean, it's fun when you're arguing with your buddy out in the bar or whatever like that, and you can pull some bullshit over on somebody's eyes like that. But, you know, that's cool. Try to come with some correct stuff right there. It was Joe Barry's second year, dude. I'm not ripping on the guy. You had the 21st ranked defense, and that is either you not having the talent to do it or you have a coaching problem.
It's the coach. Like, it's not the talent, it's the coach at this point. Like, the talent's there. You can't, it's so hard we aren't the Bears. We don't bust on that many draft picks.
Well, I mean, but that remains to be seen. What if Joe Barry turns it all around this year? I mean, it is his second year. You get to fix your problems and all that stuff. And they did get better towards the end of the season, even though you lost the last game. It's not like that game was a drubbing or anything. That was a heavyweight fight.
It was.
It could have went either way. I have no doubt in my mind with my post-traumatic same old Lions, the PTSOL on the inside of me, that if they didn't complete that 4th and 2 and end the game right there, that Aaron Rodgers would have went Matrix style on us at the end of that game. And then
the Quay Walker at the very end with Quay being emotional as he was, hitting the medical staff, which was just ridiculous. That should have never happened. Regardless if the medical staff pushed him out the way, like you don't, he's there to, the medical staff's only there to help.
Yeah, he was that's the thing is where it comes in the big games like that. That's what they
Yep.
say in the big moments. Who are you going to be? Are you going to be poised? So in those types of moments, you're glad, like at least from my point, that Brad Holmes drafted a bunch of dudes that had leadership backgrounds, and in those moments, they're always going to keep their composure together. So I just double checked. The Packers had the 6th ranked pack. What is it? The Will Hemman? I go by PFF guy. I go by PFF because I can look at it in a whole bunch of different lights. 14th was the best ranked attribute that you had. And if you want to provide and you want to throw a link in there of where you're showing them as the 6th best pass defense.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see that too, because maybe against the Vikings, they were the 6th best at the very end of the season, but that's just a game. One game being good does not make it the entire season.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's not like you needed some help on the run defense. That's really when it comes down to it, is the middle of your defense has got to play better. You had decent pass defense, and I think that you can relate that too. So a lot of times when you have pass problems, it's because you're not stopping the run, because you have to have those things that happen. But yeah, your pass defense is definitely better than your run defense. So they gave up the 6th least amount of pass yards. Okay. That's an objective stat. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I was being objective when I rated your pass up. I should just rank you as a Lions homer fan. I should just say your defense is trash. It's ranked 21st in the league. But then you would just say, well, your defense was ranked 29th in the league. And I think both of those are wrong in real football. Like when you're looking at it, I don't think that the Packers are the 21st worst defense in the league. I don't. But I do think that the stats do tell a part of the story, and the part of the story that it tells you is, what are you? Are you good at pass or good at defending the run? Well, you're definitely better at defending the pass. So now you have to work on defending your run. And the same thing with the Lions, but reverse it. We were better at rushing the passer and defending the run at the end of the year, but our cornerbacks were dog shit. So you are I don't know what that is. Am I a moron, or you is
P-Rom?
P-Rom? Am I P-Rom?
I don't know what that means.
Hello, bar. All right. The run defense was bad. I don't deny that. I never said they had a great defense, and that's where we're at right here. We're trying to decide. This is Packer fan. I actually want to know how you feel about it. So, I mean, and if you think that they're awesome already, that's fine. I can deal with that. I hope that your defensive coordinator and the coaches think that they're good enough too.
I like the duos that we got on our defense for sure, with Rasul Douglas and Jair Alexander at cornerback, and our 2 edge rushers, Rashawn Gary and now Lucas Van Ness, really going to put in the work. Those duos will definitely be deadly.
So how about Preston? I mean, where does he fit in? Is he just a rotational guy now? Or?
I think he's becoming a rotational guy with the new guy we brought in. Of course, I think Preston's going to start more games than Van Ness, but if Van Ness really shines, then he'll definitely take over that spot. Because I think Rashawn Gary's the most stable guy in that whole.
I mean, but even Rashawn Gary's been inconsistent. I mean, maybe it's because of injury or whatever. But has he ever had a 10-sack season?
I think so. I think Okay.
I mean, I know that he's been around there, but I mean, I don't know. That's a good, consistent piece, but that's one thing I think that a Packer fan I think they make a little more out of him than he is, but maybe he will be more of a beast this year. Let's see. I never said it. Awesome. I never said you said that they were awesome. Did I say that? Did I say you said they're awesome? Oh, he's mad. He's mad. I got William mad. Man, I don't mean to make you mad, William. I'm just having a conversation. I got a Packer fan on my panel right here. You can pop in too. I'm going to throw the link in there because we can have a couple people on here. If you guys want to come in, have a conversation, and we can change the subject too. I mean, I don't want to make everybody all super sensitive. We usually save all the sensitivity stuff for Monday nights, which is our NFC North Open Mic, and it gets a little heated in there at times, but for the most part, it's good football conversation. We allow people to have their takes. Preston Smith will be a rotational guy, especially that he's getting up there in age, and that's fine. I mean, I can agree with that, but you got a guy that's very young and raw in Van Ness. I would think that he's more of the rotational guy at first, but I do see that switching around probably by the bye week to where you're going to see Van Ness if he develops in the way. There's John Dorn. Go Pack, go. I figured that he'd have a Fields as garbage and same old Lions in there too. I figure that's going to come here sooner or later. I like the players on defense, but how often does a first-year coordinator come in and dominate with the new players? Actually, it's happened a lot. I mean, but it's always the second year because you have to prove that you can do it because you can surprise some people when you come up with your schemes with the talent. I remember when Singletary did it in San Francisco. And everybody was, he needs to be the head coach. They should just make him the head coach. And it just doesn't translate because the league is so good. Like when you figure out and you have something that's special on your team, the defenses are so good that by the mid-season, they're going to figure that out. So if you haven't made an adjustment or tried something to show them a new look, then you're already dead in the water. You're already dead in the water. You have to be able to change. Let's see. Often does our first year quarter. I mean, it's a fair assessment. It sounds logical, but I mean, there's a lot of really good, talented, smart-minded people that are in the NFL. And sometimes that guy is just like a tight ends coach. Or he's a running backs coach, but he's working his way up the ranks. So you don't know where this low hanging fruit is. So I don't know. Joe Barry should have been able to do. That's a lot of talent. That's 8 first-round draft picks. I'm frothing at the mouth if I'm a defensive coordinator to come in with all of that talent. So it's either that or Gutekunst isn't hitting on the talent. Like that's what Aaron Rodgers seems to think, but
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Of course, Aaron Rodgers is going to say all this now because he's no longer on the team. Like recently on all over Packers Facebook, it was talking about Devontae Adams saying that we offered him too little money to stay and he was offended. But we offered him more money than he was going to get at the end of the day than he was going to get at the Raiders. But he's very unhappy with being at the Raiders right now because the Raiders have all kinds of issues and he's not having fun. So he's going to say all this because he's not having fun.
Yeah, I don't like that. I mean, both of them played diva. I think both of those guys are kind of in that way. But here's what, I mean, it happened with Jamal Williams too. Jamal Williams said that we insulted him with a contract, and we actually offered him $1.5 million more than the contract that he took in New Orleans. So,
we insulted you because we didn't give our entire team's cap space to you.
People don't do the really good teams are realizing that the second contracts, you really want to make it your own guy that's developed in your own system, giving brand new dudes that know nothing about your culture or anything, tons of money and multi-year deals that are big has not that hasn't proven to be a recipe of success. John gets to go, Pack, go. Like, okay, right here. So Dan Campbell looks so good. He won 12 games in 2 years. Oh, gosh. Thank you. Thank you for that reminder right there. I think that they could win 12 games this year. Dan Campbell, I think, is a good coach, but I know that John Dorn is a Ben Johnson fan. He thinks that Ben Johnson should get all of Dan Campbell's credit. And there may be some truth to that, because Ben Johnson turned down 2 head coaching jobs to stay as offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions because he wants to win a championship and he likes what they're building there. And Tyreek must be a hater, but I think he's referring to John Dorn because he's one of the best Packer haters in the world. And Evan is one of the most respectful Packer fans, and I like having a good conversation with somebody.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about backup quarterbacks next, because the Lions and Packers have a new backup quarterback, QB2.
Okay, we all into the controversy.
It's my quarterback.
Yeah, all right. Backup quarterbacks. Clifford. I mean, John kind of put me in my place yesterday. He just said this was a 2-minute drill.
Which it was, but it was still a good 2-minute drill.
It's a 5th-round draft pick. If you have a 5th-round draft pick that's making tackles and has anything that's going out into the national media, I think that's good news.
That's good news. See, a backup quarterback could be very, very useful for when your Hall of Fame quarterback or just normal quarterback in general gets injured. The Lions fans might know this about Matt Flynn when he came in and smacked up the Lions when Rodgers was injured in 2014.
What? I don't remember that. I must have been drinking.
But so will Cowboys. Cowboys know that as well, because Matt Flynn came in and won against the Cowboys as well. It just comes down. And then we ended up letting him go because we don't need to pay him a lot of money to stay, because we have Aaron Rodgers, of course, and he ended up going to the Seahawks and had a pretty productive year.
Yeah,
but,
and then lost his job to Russell Wilson, a 3rd-round draft pick. That sounds like our guy, Hendon Hooker, right there. Dorn thinks that Hooker is going to be better than where that at? Okay, Hooker will be better than Jared Goff. I mean, that's fair, because when you're looking at he's a very accurate. I think he's like a 77% college passer, and they say that usually translates to about 10% less in I guess it's like dog years or whatever. But I don't know what his as far as a runner, I think he's a pretty accurate runner. You know, he runs in the right spots. I know that he played in a couple of different spots. So I think that Goff is an accurate quarterback, but the ability to be able to escape the pocket, make things happen outside of the pocket makes the potential of Hooker being better than Goff. And there's just too much fun that we're going to have when Hooker takes over, because you know that when Hooker takes over, you guys are fucked, right? I am so sorry to Detroit Lions news. I don't like to drop the F-bomb, but it's appropriate in that way, because not only are you guys not only are you guys effed, but we're gonna get paid for it.
But yeah, it was Hooker who ended up leading the charge against the Crimson Tide and ended up beating them for Tennessee after a long drought and not being able to beat the Crimson Tide. That is.
Are you saying that Hendon Hooker outdueled the #1 overall draft pick in this year's draft?
Yeah, that's the thing is. There was a lot. This was overall draft. It was very bad, but quarterbacks, they were crawling out of every crevice, every team. There was a quarterback. Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, Ohio, Michigan, and Florida all had quarterbacks that were all flaunted to be high end. At one point, people were saying the Mayo man, Will Levis, was going to be the first overall pick.
So what is your favorite college team, Evan?
College team, I'd have to go with NIU, Northern Illinois University, just because I'm from Illinois. From Illinois, born and raised.
Okay, so then I'm going to ask you this question. You won't be a homer about it because you're a Homer Michigan fan that hates Ohio State quarterback. I mean, obviously CJ Stroud can't be good as a quarterback because he came from Ohio State. Do you buy into any of that garbage?
No, I do not. Any quarterback can be good if they can do their job. That's the thing. Any quarterback has the potential to be the sky-high best quarterback in the NFL. You just have to have the talent with you. You have to have practice. You have to know what you're doing. Like you get people like. Oh, go ahead.
I had a question for Dorn. I'm sorry, I'm reading out loud too. It's like Goff's deep ball is 25. They pretty much Jordan does not think that Goff can throw a deep ball, but I want you to do something. If you got that whole Google thing out there, Google who actually had the longest throw in the air last year and see what comes up, and then get back with me. Anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
But no, you don't even have to throw a deep ball to be a good quarterback, especially on the Lions with how many elite receivers you have. You could throw a short pass. You could pitch it. It doesn't matter. With that team, you should be able to get shit done.
And when you look at the guys that they got, like Sam Laporta was the best tackle breaking tight end in this year's class. I mean, that's just what they were going for. And Gibbs and Bijan were like 1A, 1B as far as being able to break tackles. And I actually think that they would have chosen Gibbs over Bijan because of the receiving ability, because they wanted a weapon. They wanted a running back.
Isn't Bijan the running back?
Bijan Robinson is going to be the truth. This guy's got special ability. The only reason I wouldn't have wanted him because he's 25, 26 years old, 25.
Yeah, no, I don't support getting a running back in the first round. It's not against you. I just like the Falcons.
Pick at the time.
I don't like just any running back in the first round. Really, you don't. That's just a waste of a pick to me. Because regardless of how good a running back is, you could always get one in the second or third round that's just as good. And then you don't wait for the first round.
But look at the top guy. It's both sides of it is like you can make an argument with it, right? Because when you look at, who are the difference making running backs, you're talking like Christian McCaffrey, first round pick,
Alvin Kamara.
Alvin Kamara was a late round pick. That was actually a steal right there.
It's just, I still don't like, and coming from my perspective, a first round running back is really a waste of a pick. Because you can get all kinds of better running back talent potentially in the later rounds.
I mean, you can, but you can nail the pick too when you got. I mean, Saquon Barkley, he's holding out right now because he's the best running back in the league. It's and I'm not even talking about from a production standpoint, but just from a straight talent standpoint.
I mean, he's basically a wide receiver running back slammed together.
Right. Like if Jahmyr Gibbs was like 20 pounds heavier with the same agility and the same, I mean, he's amazing. Saquon Barkley is amazing.
Oh yeah.
And
I still love the Bears thought they could have him.
That's first round pick, Adrian Peterson. Look at that. Look at some of the greatest running backs. Barry Sanders. Like, am I really that upset that they took a running back in the first round? Well, if he sucks, yeah. But the only reason why people don't like the high picks, taking it right there, it's all money. It's all money, because him taking a running back at 12 instantly makes him top 10 and paid or 12. I don't know.
That's the thing. The running back market's horrid. The running back market is the lowest it's ever been. the running backs are coming really cheap. And that's the thing, is like, why would you pick this? If they would have waited, they could have got an already good running back from Minnesota for probably cheaper. If they just waited and not used that first round pick. That's the thing, is that the pick maybe 4 years ago, that would have been a good pick. But like now, with how little running backs are making, if you throw a little extra money a running back's way, like a extra $2 million, they would easily come to your team for more money, because they're already.
This was the first year that had really happened. I mean, really, when you're looking at how much they were trying to get 15. Bell, remember when Le'Veon Bell was trying to get 15? Like, and then you have Saquon signs the big deal. You got McCaffrey signs the big deal. Mm-hmm. Cook signs the big deal, and now everyone's like, well, we can't win like that, so we're not going to pay these new guys. And actually, the best thing would have been for Saquon, take the money, take the franchise tag money, and run with it. I don't think people are going to pay draft picks to get him, and pay the ridiculous amount of money that it's going to take. Yeah, you get one or the other. I
think there's going to be some team out there that has no real star players that would pick up Saquon over any other real running back, like Minnesota's running back, just because of how an elite of a player he is. If the Giants lose Saquon, their offense is going to die. I mean, like that they could have either signed Saquon or I think their quarterback,
Daniel Jones, man.
Yeah, Daniel Jones. And they decided to sign Daniel Jones and franchise tag Saquon. And I think that there will be somebody that pays him enough for him to go, and the Giants not to match it.
Right. Yeah, and here's another thing. Elite Gibbs has elite speed. Can't teach that. Time will tell. So the thing with Gibbs is, if they're going to bell cow him, they're going to use him as running back and run him 15 to 20 times a game, then I believe that it was a awful pick. Mm-hmm. I don't think I would stand on that. I don't care. You don't take a running back that high. But if we get to the end of this year and his stat line looks like 600 yards rushing with 900 yards receiving and 70 catches with, a bunch of receiving touchdowns, because they picked him at 12 just as much for a slot receiver and an outside weapon as they did as a running back, because David Montgomery is the Lions' bell cow running back. He's not going to take too many carries away from him. If he gets 10 carries a game, Gibbs, then I'm going to call it a mistake of a pick. I don't think that's what you want out of him. You want to line him up and line him up against their worst player that in the pass game. Every down. Where's he at? Oh, where's the bitch at? Okay, I'm going to line up right on him because he can't cover me.
Yep.
Goff's going to get it out of his hands quicker. Quick. We don't want Goff back there, sitting back there, trying to make decisions. Get the ball out of Goff's hands quick and let these guys do all the dirty work.
Yep. I'm still just thinking about how competitive the NFC North's becoming now. It usually was just Packers and then whoever else.
Right.
It was just usually that, and now it's a big toss-up. It's Lions, and then everybody else is fighting for that second spot, which is most likely going to be a playoff spot.
See, isn't it nice that your history as the Packers is so good that you can make a statement like that? Because I couldn't say that. I can't say it's Lions and then everybody else, because I have no history to back that up, and I wouldn't be like it's Lions and everybody else. We need to win the NFC North before I'll come out and make a statement like you just said right there. And
you'll have. Yeah, it's nice to say it, and I'm honestly kind of glad that we're not in that position, because now this is very spoiled of me to say, but it gets really boring to win and not win at all. It gets really boring to go. It gets really repetitive to go 10 10 wins and go to the playoffs and get smacked. It was very heartbreaking the past 2020 and 2021 to go as far as we did with 12 wins and just getting smacked by the 49ers and then the Buccaneers.
Yeah, it's the way that they're building those teams, man.
Yep.
It's like the good playoff teams are built to beat. Like I don't want to call you a paper champ, but like the paper champion division winners, right?
Yep.
You knew when you were going in there that you weren't good like the Rams were good with Aaron Donald and Von Miller and all. Like you know that going into the playoff. I remember when the Lions, even when they went into the playoffs in 2014, where I think it was the best shot of my lifetime to do something real. I didn't think they were as good as the best teams. Like okay, they could win a playoff.
It does take some skill and luck to get very high up, and that proved it after the Packers won the Super Bowl. That next season, we were poised to win it again, and who stops us? The Giants out of nowhere, who took it all,
right,
and ended up winning the Super Bowl. It comes down to the best built teams, the ones that get lucky. Like if you guys get some of that Vikings luck that they had last year, I think you could do it.
Shoot, we'll win 17 games with that kind of luck.
Yeah, with that luck.
Man, that was crazy. You can't take anything I believe in luck a little bit, but here's the thing, is like you put yourself in the position to be lucky. Like, and if you weren't really, really, really good, you'd get smoked. So if you're just standing toe to toe with good teams like that and you get lucky, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. You were good enough to be in that game. So let's go. Agreed. One and done is a wasted season. I mean, is it any worse? I mean, we went 3-13. You guys going and being one and done in the playoffs. What's worse?
It really comes down to 3-13 at that point would be the better position because you get the better picks.
Right. So then,
but they are who we thought they were.
And we know who we are. We were the Lions. And now we're in this weird spot where it's like, should I believe again? It's like being in an abusive relationship, you know? You got the shit beat out of me like 20 years straight. And Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are like, look, it's going to be different this time. Well, I swear, we're going to treat you right. Okay. I've heard this song and dance before. Like, wow, the Lions are looking really, really good. 6-10. Like, like, come on, man. Where did this come from? All this hope. We put all this hope into my arm. And
it's crazy though. And everybody says it. The Packers are very spoiled to have two back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And
so wouldn't it say, I mean, if you guys, you know, back away into obscurity for a few years, is that really how bad does that hurt Packer fan with all of the good success?
It gets rid of the bandwagon people, really. It gets rid of people that were very happy when the Packers did good in 2020 and 2021, hopped on. It's like the Buccaneers with Brady. So many people became Buccaneers fans when Brady went there. Now they're all gone.
I mean, what do you think of that? Like, I mean, when people jump ship like that and just like
bandwagon people, like it's
Detroit Rams fan now. Like, what is that?
Yeah, no.
Okay, I mean, I love being able to be a fan. I mean, I'm a fan of Matt Stafford, but I'm not. I will never be enough fan of Matt Stafford to root for the Rams. Like. That's like, oh, I live vicariously. It sounds like Michigan fans trying to be like, well, you know, Michigan lost or Michigan State lost and trying to get on that Michigan win. It's like, don't do that. Don't do that. that says so much about you without saying anything about you. Yeah.
Now there are certain teams that I like besides the Packers, but it's always going to be Go Pack Go. It's never going to be Skull. It's never going to be any other chant. Right. Just Go Pack Go.
Right. I mean, if they can lose every game, you take pleasure in watching your rivals lose to other teams. Look at you not doing good or whatever. And yeah, you can never root for. I'm not going to root NFC North because they were in my division and my division
Yeah,
won.
no, I won't either. But like
No.
certain teams I like watching include the Jaguars. Like the Jaguars were really fun to watch.
If you've ever talked with Tom Novans, the way he says Jaguars is awesome because he's got like an Australian accent. Jaguars. Jaguars. Oh man, you know what? Mike didn't call me. I need to get main event and see if I can't get main event Mike on a line. Because I know we're a little bit over, but we're having fun here. And if you don't want to listen to us BSing, then yeah, that's fine. But throw a comment in there. Throw a comment in there. We are broadcasting live. It's Bill the Packer fan. We got Detroit Lions news, Mike the Bear fan, Detroit Lions villain squad, and NFC North Open Mic main event style. We're streaming live into all of those platforms. Yeah, maybe Mike was out in California. He was out doing that West Coast thing. He was trying to hook up with the West Coast stat master out there, get some grub, and out there for work. And he's left the whole show up to me, which I don't know if that's a good thing, but
that's not a good thing.
So crazy for the Vikings to have the record, but a negative point
differential.
That's
it's yeah.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
So negative point differential. Basically, they went negative in points scored on them. More people scored on them than they scored on other people. Like if you look at it, it went like they beat the Bills, but then the Cowboys just came in and smacked them. So did the Packers. And then that ended up, my phone fell. That ended up dropping them. And yeah, they had a negative point differential, which you don't win anything on that. It was very rare to see a 12 win team have a negative point differential.
Yeah, and really when you look at that's why, like, if you're a Viking fan out there, like, yeah, we love clowning you, but like that's why you've been in witness protection other than Jamez, is because you can see you can't just get rid of all your talent and just go, wow, Brian Flores. It's like you have to have talent to coach. If you don't have talent, then what are you going to do? You know, where does Dalvin Cook go? I mean, I like him in I like the Miami call.
I like Miami. That's, I think, number one. Cook goes to Miami to compete, and I think he shines there.
Yep, he's going to be in for a rude awakening if he thinks he's going to get $10 million now.
Oh yeah, no, he is.
I mean, I think he's going to end up signing for someplace. Probably it'll look like an $8 million deal after the incentives, but it'll be like $7-8 million, I think.
Oh yeah.
Where else could he go? I think that he'd be a good fit to go to LA. I mean,
I also think the Broncos. I think the Broncos probably want a good running back.
Oh,
I think the Broncos, of course LA, but LA isn't really looking to rebuild that quickly. So I don't think LA is going to go for it because they got rid of Ramsey already.
Have a hard time. Period. I mean, who wants to take an aging running back with shoulder problems? No matter. I mean, Adrian Peterson was great, but you know, when he came to Detroit, I mean, it's not like you had modern day AP. You know, it was nice. He's great mentor for the other ones. And I don't think that Cook is like there yet. I do think that he's got a year or two of good production left. So if you're trying to win a championship, call up Dalvin Cook, man.
Exactly.
KC?
Nope. I think that is a horribly long shot. KC loves to develop their receivers and keep their running backs. I don't think they need him at all.
Yeah, Pashko? What was that guy's name? The guy Ponchio from the rookie. Wasn't he like a 5th round pick or something like that?
Isaiah Pacheco.
Pacheco, yeah. I'm not good with those names like that.
I'm not good either. There's some names that I cannot pronounce.
Oh, I hope he doesn't go to KC.
Oh.
Well, yeah, we would want him to go to KC because that would be him buried on, like,
Yep.
you'd have to be a three-headed monster because they have McKinnon over there too.
Yep.
They just won a Super Bowl. Who takes the right guard? Oh, I love this question because you didn't pick my guy. This is awesome. Who will get the right guard spot, Vaitai or Graham? I say neither one of them. If you're looking at the 5th round rookie, his name is Colby Sorsdahl, will win the right guard spot for the Detroit Lions over Vaitai and Graham. Graham Glasgow may get cut.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's nice to know that you're developing guys that are off the charts, impressing the coaching staff. He's been by far the best guy at learning that spot right there. I feel so good to be able to say that. Curtis, thank you for the comment right there. Thank you everybody for the comments. And I think that I am up against it. I got to go check, and my boy does not have to get off the bus today, so I'm not late for that. But yeah, if you want to go to any of these spots, please go like and follow the Detroit Lions Villain Squad and NFC North main event, because we do broadcast live each and every weekday when it comes to Tuesday through Thursday. Monday nights is NFC North Open Mic in the evening at 7 p.m. Then make sure that if you do like and follow those pages, feel free to throw questions into any one of our comments, and we will address them onto this show. So any parting shots for you, Evan?
I mean, just have fun. Just have fun this week. Try to get through the weekday, get to the weekend, and relax. And soon we'll have some good football going again back in September.
Well, with that, from Evan and from I am Russell Wayne, this is the main event 365. God bless each and every one of you, and we will see you guys tomorrow. One Pride.
Go Pack, go.